Okay, so here's my idea for the next few weeks. I came across this program called GeoGebra, which is a free version of, we've used it before?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. I never have, so,
Really?
yep, so you can help, yeah. So then my idea is we'll kind of go through this and learn it together. We'll do the basic stuff today, and then maybe we'll do some more advanced stuff next week, and then we'll apply it to math stuff on the third week. Okay, so let's do the how to get it. So there, it's like I said, it's all free. You can get it on your web browser. You can download it to your computer. You can download it to your phones or tablets. Right? You can do all three, and all your kids can do that too. Yeah, there you go. So go to GeoGebra, Gebra, right, and then .org. And this is just a dynamic. Well, they list it kind of as a graphing software, but it's a dynamic graphing software. So, all right, there we go. Okay, so here's obviously their homepage. I was going to say something. I'm not going to say anything. All right, so we have three things here. Well, we have all the top stuff too. I don't know about the sign-on what you get for creating an account. I don't know, and there's something about groups. I don't know about that either. So, like I said, well, I'll learn about that. And then we'll discuss that later. Do you know?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, when you smile, it looks like you got something to say, like you know.
I don't even remember having like an account or anything. I just remember like
That's
being
right.
on it and, like,
I'm just saying. My point here is there are some things that we're going to have to learn about. Okay, and that's one of them. Okay, the materials, which obviously the links there are these links, and then the downloads. So we'll go to materials in a second. But if you go to the downloads, this is how you can get it on your computer. I wouldn't do it for my devices though. Right? Right? And we don't want to do this. Don't download on your computer because we can actually run the app right out of the web browser. Okay? And in fact, if you go to the Chrome store, the web store, which you can do, and get the app, which we can do, I'll show you how to do that. All it does is it's a shortcut to go to the web browser. That's all it is.
Is it?
All right? Yeah, they're all yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Let's take a couple seconds. Let's really revel in that greatness. No, I'm all about it. Okay. Good. I like it. Okay, if you're going to do it on your phone, I wouldn't just go to the App Store, right? Just go to the App Store or go to the Android market and then get it through there. I wouldn't go through the website. All right. Okay, if we are going to go through the Chrome store, though, so what I would do is on your books, on the very left, do the circle. So get into the app launcher. And then click More Apps, and then you should have a Chrome. And then just search GeoGebra.
GeoGebra math apps.
Yep. Yes, and that's the deal too. I do want to say this too. You should have notes out right now. You should have a page, and we should be taking notes. There's no way that when I go through all this, you're going to remember it. So we should have paper and pencil, pen, anything you want. That's a writing utensil and some stuff to write on. Yes. No, that was my point here is when you get it, it's not going to say GeoGebra. It's going to be this circle. It's going to say Math Apps. So actually no place on your phone, on your tablet, on your screen, in your app launcher would say GeoGebra. Okay, so if you click on your icon from your app launcher, or had I done it if I put it on my actual app launcher, I get the exact same thing that I get if I go to Math Apps. All right, so this was the part that confused me. It's not saying these are math apps. That's the name of this. They must have had math apps when they started this thing and changed it to GeoGebra. All right, so when I do that, I get the actual interface. Eventually. Okay. All right. Keyboard's nice, all that good stuff. All right. Okay, the other thing is, and I want you to play around a little bit to see what this will do if you're not familiar. Go to Materials. So go back to your web browser. So maximize your web browser, open it. Okay. And then on Materials, you can go through any one of these. So they say there are 708,000 of these. So I might not just skim through them, right? But click on a couple and see what happens. All right, so investigate the kind of things this will do. Okay, and these are all created by users.
Oh, newest.
All right. So this particular one, when I use the slider, it actually changes the time. This would be great for elementary school, I guess, to see the digital time and then and a long time. Right? And that was all done in this GeoGebra. All right. Okay. So take some time and just play around and see what you can find. There was one. There's a completely square one, I thought. But you could search. So search for, I don't know, whatever math concept you want. Okay. So let's go to your web browser and let's actually open up the GeoGebra. Again, this could be if you download it to your actual desktop. You don't have to go to the web browser.
How'd you get it to make the keyboard go away?
There's an X at the top right of the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
And anything, well, nowadays, but it's nice that they have standards or they're normal things, and there usually is an X, so X out of things. If you can't see it, then.
Yeah, I just.
No, I wasn't. I don't just. Oh no, well, that's it. Okay, are we all out of our materials and ready to pay attention?
Yes.
Are you? Because you're looking for stuff in your pocket.
I was open. I was like, we shouldn't have thought of it.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Sorry.
All right, so we have 3 different parts here for the. Right. You can see at the very top we have our. These are actually the menus. Okay, so all these are the menus of the things we can do. This is just undo and redo, just like before. Okay, here's a search feature, which you have to be signed in, so you must be able to collect your material through GeoGebra. Okay, which is okay. We don't need to do that. We can save everything to our desktop. Okay, so we don't do that yet. But again, I don't know, figure out what groups are all about. Anytime you see 3 lines in Chrome, it just means more stuff, right? So here's the kind of the big menu right here. I can create a whole nother GeoGebra, I don't know, workspace. I can open one from my desktop, or open one pretty much from anywhere, I'm sure. If it's in Chrome, there's got to be a link to your drive. You save it, you can share it, so there's the deal. You can share it probably to let's see what share does. You got to be able to share it to your drive if it's Chrome. Yeah, so if I do my Google account, I can share it right to my drive. You could do Office 360 since we have that here. Right? But since you're into your accounts, though, it'll be saved at that NWU account, and then Jack, whatever your account is. All right, so you can go right over there. And all that other good stuff. I don't know what all this other stuff is. Looks cool, though. Okay. So that's where you get the saves, the opens, all that good stuff. All right. Past that, then, there are 2 basic views. It's called the algebra view, which is really just where we put in all our equations and all our points. And then the graphics view, where everything graphs. All right. So the first thing is, and this gets highly annoying, when you have the pointer, you need to be on the pointer to actually be able to grab stuff and move things. Sometimes the points, it doesn't matter. But so right now, if I want to kind of view or move my axes around, I just click anywhere in the screen, and I drag, and I can move my axes anywhere I want. Okay, so just click and then drag. So here we have, again, our pointer, and we'll go over this stuff too. But in here, we also have a freehand. You can kind of freehand a geometric shape, and it'll try to recognize it, or you can just write stuff with your pen. Okay, all about points. Here's everything with lines. Here's what lines can do, right? Perpendicular, all that good stuff. Then we have polygons, all right? So we can make polygons, all right? We have circles, we have conic sections. We can do things with areas, or I'm sorry, angles. I saw area, which was cool. And some of the stuff I'm not sure about, we'll learn about all that. The reflections, this would be great for translations and dilations. So any kind of transformations, this would be a great dynamic view. And then this one's what we'll do a little bit today on. This is kind of, not advanced, but these are more the interactive buttons, okay? And the last one is you have view stuff, so you can view things and all that good stuff. Okay? You can also, I'm not sure about Chrome, you should try it, but on a Mac, if I drag my 2 fingers, I can zoom in and out. So try, what's yours? Is it 2 fingers? Okay, good. All right, so grab somewhere in the coordinate system and click and hold. Your touchscreen, can you touch and grab it and hold? And move it? It's cool. Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. All right. Okay. All right. If you go to the very right here, the blue triangle and the blue circle, these will be options now for our graphics area. Okay. So I can turn on and off. These are just toggle buttons for the most part. I can turn on and off my axes. Right. I can turn on and off a grid. Okay. And I actually can do rectangular, polar. I don't know what that one is. Oh, there you go. That's highly annoying.
Oh, that hurts my head.
Yeah, that was horrible. Okay. All right, so your grid, there you go. Your home, if you do home, it should center it back where the origin was, where the default is. I do not know what these buttons are. I don't know. If you hover over this, does it show you a descriptor? Sometimes they give us help. They should give us help menus. Yours doesn't either? Not on this? Okay. All right, we can look that up. Oh, do this too on your page as you take notes, and I really hope you take notes. If you have any questions you need answered, write them down. Right? Because like I said, I'm going to have to go look a lot of this stuff up. All right, but hopefully in 3 weeks we'll be able to do some cool stuff. All right. Okay. All right, the snap part, this is the magnet, is just if you want to actually snap things to the grid. So I can, anything I move will snap to this grid, or I can snap to other objects. All right. I don't know, not that I wouldn't recommend that. I can't think of how that would just be highly annoying. Okay, and then here are the actual settings. Okay, this tool, this gear, that's extremely important right now. That's how we're actually gonna modify everything we do in here. We'll be able to do it through this gear. Okay, so this gear now is a double function. Right now it's all about my graphics area. So I can do, you know, min, max, all that good stuff. Change the color, I can do all that, XY axis, change the grid. Later though, it'll be anything I select in my algebra. My equations, my dots, that's how I'll edit them. And that's how I'll have advanced edits, okay? All right. Okay, so I tell you what, let's take a couple minutes, play around with these buttons, go through the actual advanced settings, and mess around with them, see what you get. When you're ready to close out of the settings, just the X at the top, okay, and you'll get out of the settings. Oh, the 3 dots, sorry about the 3 dots. The 3 dots here, I don't have any idea what this stuff is. I know the spreadsheet actually is a very cool way to create a lot of things quickly, and we can talk about that once I learn about that, but the other 6 or 5 things, I don't have any idea, right? But eventually we'll look into that, okay? What I would recommend is don't hit close, because it'll actually get rid of your view, so just click out of it. Right, so if I do hit close, you'll see it gets rid of my entire thing, which, I don't know, would freak me out. And then I have to go back and I have to go back to my graphics view. Okay, all right, okay, so if you do hit close, let's do that one more time actually. How about everyone follow along? So go here, go to the 3 dots and actually hit close. So get rid of the whole thing. Okay. Yours didn't go away, or did? Okay, so now to come back, and this is something I would take notes on. I click my little, I don't know, function icon, my little graph, and I get my 3 dots back. And then I have to go back to the graphics view. All right. You're on, it's because you're already on graphics. So if you're on this right now, when you do your drop-down menu, it's not going to show you what you're on. Right, so there shouldn't be a graphics here because I'm on graphics. Does that make sense? But if I close it out, I'm not on it anymore, so now it shows up. Right? Yours doesn't do that. And either way, play around with the setting. See what you got. If you mess anything up, you can let close it. Okay, so that was actually an extremely good point. So everyone stop for a second what they're doing, and then just kind of look up here. And this will happen actually when you get your menus over here too. You'll notice there's a divider line between my algebra section and my graphics. And as soon as I hover around it, my cursor changes. Anytime you see the arrows, it means you can move it. So if you click and hold, you can actually expand and compress your areas. Okay? And you can do that on these as well. Not that one. You should be right here. So see how I can expand and extract my areas. Okay, that's a really good idea. Okay, so if you don't like how small or big something is, depending on the actual device, change it.
Figured that out.
Okay, we all are pretty much finished with messing around with the settings. We've moved on to other things, right? All right, let's take, if you haven't, just finish up the next 30 seconds or so. We'll move on to inputting stuff. Doing things.
I don't mind customized.
Good job.
I didn't check bars.
You
What's
want?
the right thing?
I made it 3D.
How? That's kind of cool.
I know.
3D?
I want to do that.
It's gotta be over here, right?
I actually really like this right now.
3D. Huh?
Yes.
Okay, let's change it back to 2D and whatever.
We have about side by side.
If you're
2D by 2D.
Yeah.
okay, awesome.
Color by 2D.
Get rid of the 3D and put it in 2D.
Well,
We'll investigate 3D too. How about that? We'll spend more. We all finished customizing? I feel like we just say that, but we don't really mean it.
I don't know how to get
You gotta go back to.
How did you get 3D in the first place?
I literally got it right when
Now we're okay. Okay, so here's our little icon again that opens and closes. So the triangle and the circles open and closes that kind of those menu options. This cubic function here opens and closes these options. Okay, the first one is how you can sort what's actually going on in your algebra part. All right, so that's what it'll group them, or you can read. It's all that good stuff. I'd recommend. Well, you do whatever you want. I like the grouped part, right, by object type. The other is the function part, and we can change all of this in the gear as well. All right. So on the left side, you have to click the cubic function, right?
oh.
Okay. Are we all okay? Okay. And like I said, this one define. We can do that when we click on anything that's in our algebra part. We can go to the advanced settings and do all that. Okay. Definition and value is just what it sounds like, right? The definition, I think, it might not be the name, but the value is, it'll carry over, and this is what makes it awesome. It'll show you all the values, right? So if you're trying to, show some certain math problem, you can actually have the values visible, right? Or you can turn them off, right? Okay, and then you can see there's another gear here, which opens up these menu options over here. Okay, this neither here nor there, but they'll come in handy. Auxiliary objects are things that are going to be on your screen, like there'll be push buttons and sliders and things that may not go into this algebra view here. So if you turn them on and off, you can see them. All right. Okay. And then we have 3 dots, so we have our same deal. All that stuff before, which we can learn about later. All right. That's it. Okay. Let's start doing some stuff. I'd say we'll start left, and we'll work our way right a little bit. We'll do a lot of the point parts. We'll do some little stuff, and then I'll let you explore up to the conics here. Okay, but let's start here. If you do the freehand pen, this is what I was talking about. There's always going to be a help menu at the bottom. So this tells me that it sketches either a function or a geometric object by dragging. If I'm unclear about what that does, as long as I drag to the right, I can go down here and click the question mark, and I'll get a whole new web page. And it'll explain what's going on. Okay? So if you're unsure about something, right, you have to go to the right. That's the only thing, because if I go down, I'll go into the pen. So I have to get out of that, and then it'll keep it on the screen for a little bit. Okay? All right, and this is just what it sounds like, right? So once I select it, I click and hold, and then I can graph objects. I did this last time too. I don't know why I did that. Okay, what is it doing? Okay, maybe it doesn't recognize it. Does anyone else get theirs to work? It did this to me before, and it stayed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, it must not have recognized my.
There.
That was a perfect cubic, by the way. I don't know why I didn't recognize it.
That's a really good song.
Yeah, I don't like to brag, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty good.
I might say that borders on bitching. But that's just how I roll.
Hey man, I got one too. I got 4 of them.
Okay. Okay, so that'll recognize shapes. If it doesn't recognize it, that means you didn't draw it well enough.
You can.
Okay.
Make it a square.
All
Oh,
right.
you can.
We can make up. Okay, I feel like I'm not explaining this well enough. Anything you can draw as a geometric shape that it'll recognize,
Yeah.
you can draw. So yes, squares.
Well, that's
Yes, no, I know.
having fun.
I know, and you should. I'm trying to destroy that for some reason. I don't know why. Sorry about that. Okay, your pen. So the pen now is, it doesn't have to recognize it. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, that's what I was on the pen.
Yeah. Okay, so the shape one has to recognize your shape, and then, I don't know, I got pretty mad. Shape, yeah. I don't know. How come it didn't recognize this?
Oh, well, it's called freehand shape, that's probably why. Because it's shaped.
So it looks like it must not be functions. It must have to be a shape of some sort.
Yeah, it's called freehand shape.
Yeah. Well, I know it's semantics, but I would think that a curvilinear line would be
Doesn't recognize the pentagon.
a shape.
That's good.
Okay. All right.
Making a star.
Okay. We can play with all that a little bit later. Let's go back to the move. So you just select your pointer. Because if I don't, if I'm back on whatever I had before, every time I click anywhere, it's going to try to input another shape. It's highly annoying. So if you ever get into a situation where things aren't working like you think they should be, it's because your pointer's not selected. All right? Okay, let's do this just to show you. So here's all the stuff that we just put on here. And it automatically did the points, it did the polygons, all that good stuff. If I were to go to organize and I do it by type, you can see now they have headers. This is the conic section part, and I can actually collapse these. Here's the point part, I can collapse them. So I really like the order by type, but you don't have to, right? So we go by order. Yeah.
Okay, and if you said this earlier, I'm sorry, but
No, that's okay.
is there like an all clear button?
There isn't, but there is. There isn't a button, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so you can't have them. You have to order them by. You can't do it by object because then it'll mess it up if they're closed. If the menu. So what I mean by that, if I order by object, and I actually compress this menu, then I'm not going to do what I'm going to show you here because it's going to freak out because that thing's closed. So if you want to get rid of things, you have to just do something other than object or open all your menus is all. So what I want construction order. Okay, so what you do is if you click. You can actually see that X shows up, so I can delete things one at a time. Highly annoying. What you do though, and this works for pretty much all programs. If you click, go all the way down to the bottom, hold your Shift key. Right? Go down to the bottom and click. You can't see it. It looks weird, but you can see the side. It's highlighted all of it. It's selected everything. That's how we select all, and then just hit delete. Okay. So it's click one. Hold Shift, scroll down to wherever you want to delete, and it'll automatically do that. Okay? Let me show you one other thing. So I'll undo all that stuff. If you wanted to just delete certain things, then it's on, on Macs it's Command. On Google Chrome, I don't know what to see. It might be Control. But the deal is, I click one, I hold Command. It's not going to work here. Maybe it's Control. Yep, okay. It doesn't make any difference on a Mac since we're in a web browser. Macs or PCs shouldn't matter, I guess. But I hold Control, and you can see now I can select whatever I want. So I've just randomly selected those 4 things. All right. So hit Shift, it'll fill in everything that's between those 2 clicks. If you hold Control, you'll be able to click whatever you want, and it'll keep the order, or keep the selection. So when I hit Delete, I'll do all that stuff. Okay? All right, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. All the way down to the bottom. Okay. Okay, let's start putting some junk on our screen. Let's start with points. So go to the point one, and we're going to put a single point. All I have to do is click, and it'll add a point. Okay, so let's add 2 points anywhere you want. All right. Okay, and now here's, if I want to actually mess around with these, you need to go back to the pointer or else it's going to keep adding points. Every time you try to click somewhere, it's going to add a point. Okay. All right, let me see. This didn't work before, but it should. This is something we need to talk about. For this to be dynamic, these points have to be movable. Okay, but it's also possible that you can select them to be fixed. To say, hey, look, I don't want people to mess around with these points. I want to be exactly where they are. Okay, and I don't know if it's the default that it shouldn't be or it is, but well, I always thought it shouldn't have been. But sometimes if the default is that it's fixed, on my other Mac, they were all fixed. Every single one was fixed. All right, so you had to kind of change that, which we'll work on. And I had read actually somewhere that if it's black, it's fixed. If it's blue, it's independent. So blue is independent, black is dependent, which means blue is you can move, black you cannot. All right. I didn't have that work, but let's see. Anyway, before we do that, let's just grab. So all you have to do is go to the point and grab it, and you can move it around. And I want you to notice 2 things. Notice that it actually moves, and look at the algebra part. It actually changes the values. So you can show kids, as a dynamic view how it changes. Right? Okay, so F2, 1, and I can go all the way across. All right. All right. Okay, let's get into the options here. Let's get into some of these options. So advanced. If I click on it, I want you to notice, well, let's do this because I did it kind of fast. So notice I'm in my graphics, I clicked here, my options here are all the options for my algebra stuff. As soon as I click on one thing here, see how it changes? And now this is how I can change the color. I can change the actual shape, or this is a slider bar, I can change the size. Okay, I have more options here. And if I do that, all this stuff opens up, right? And then the 3 dots are always the 3 dots, okay? Yes?
It's kind of weird. I put a dot on the axis and now I can't open up the axis. I move it along, but apparently it's stuck on it.
On the axis?
Yeah.
And you just put, we'd have to see if you put an actual dot or if you put a attached to something dot. But we can see. But we'll get to that too.
Oh,
Right.
I did put it attached.
Okay.
Did you look at that?
Okay, I want to show you this because these are, once I click, these 2 options are extremely limited. What I want is the actual menu here. I want the big time menu. So I'll go to this nice button here and click the gear. This is why the gear is so important. All right, and now you can see I get, well, it looks like 6 options here for that 1 dot. It's not just change the color, change the size. All right, so first thing is I get basic properties, so the name, and you need to make a note of this too. All ordered pairs, all dots are capital letters. So anything you want to be an ordered pair has to be a capital letter. Okay, here's the actual definition, the value. If you wanted to, you could put captions on things, right? So you can see I just changed A to high. So you can actually change the caption. I don't know why I do that. I said the exact same thing twice. Okay. All right. Okay. Here's another huge point. Here's where I fix the object. Okay. So let's do this. In the basics, let's go to the fixed part. Let's click it. And now when I click out of this, so I'll get rid of my thing. Now when I grab A, I can't move it. Okay. And it's not because something's weird. It's because I've actually fixed that point. Okay. So the take home here is if you see a fixed point, go to the menu bar and unfix it. Right? Or it may be set up that it's a dependent variable. You can't fix it. All right? Okay? All right, let's go back to our gear. Let's go back to let's go here. So notice here, once I kind of forgot this here. So let me stop you. And if you look up, so once I clicked here, I got all those options, but I didn't get anything here. It's because I hadn't opened up that menu bar. If I open up the menu bar, you can see I get these same options. So see how they're exactly the same? Except for I can name things. Here is where I can lock and unlock it without going to the fixed part. So here's a very simple, let's unlock A, and now I can move A again. Oh, let's lock A, now I can not move A. All right? Okay. All right. And the only reason, again, that wasn't there is because that actual menu bar wasn't open. All right. Okay, let's go to color. Way more advanced in the colors now. Right, I have more than those 6 options we had before. All right. And you can see still here there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's assume it's an 8 by 8. So there'd be 64 plus another 16. Right? We can actually change it to an infinite number of colors in a second. All right? But here are just basic colors. Right? So I don't know. I'll change it to red for no reason whatsoever. Okay, my style now, just like we had on that shortcut. If I click, I can get whatever I want. Right? Make it big or small. Nice. Okay, and now here's the advanced part. Condition to show object we'll get into later, not today though. But you can actually set it up for an object won't appear until you want it to appear. Right? So that's the idea that you can hide stuff until it's ready to not be hidden. And there I just said the exact same thing twice, but in a different way. Okay, here's the way we can get our colors. RGB, what was it, RGB? This is the way that HTML can actually do color. Okay, and the important thing to remember is it's 0 through 1. It's a percent of how much red they want to put in, a percent of how much green, a percent of how much blue. All right, so it's always between 0 and 1. All right, and you can look up RGB colors. So let's actually try that. Let's get another tab for your browser. Let's do RGB. Well, let's actually just do RGB colors. I don't have to do blue specifically. Okay, and then here's the first one that pops up. I've actually used this one a bit. Okay. Let's actually see, because maybe it isn't, well, it was 0 to 1 that I heard, but let's actually type in 255 and see if we get red. Okay, but the key here is, so it's saying 285 of red, whatever that may mean, and then 0 green, 0 blue. Let's see if we get red. Okay. Oh, well, it's already red. That's stupid. Let's do this. How about, there you go. Let's make it an even. Good Lord, I keep just clicking here. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's do 255 red, 150 green, and that looks like it's orangish. Let's see what that does. So 255, 150. Nope, and our color is still, okay, let's do, where's 0.25? Nope. Okay, so that's one question. RGB is not working the way I thought it would. All right, we'll figure that out. Tell you what though, let's take, let's do this, I don't know, let's play around with your RGB and see what you get. 0.5. Yeah. So they do have to be between 0 and 1. Interesting. I think all zeros should be the absence of color, right? So it should be black. That's nice when that works out. All ones should be white, which is all color. Right, white light. Okay, so 0, 0, 0 is black, 1, 1, 1 is white, and then anywhere in between. Okay, the cool thing is we can actually set up an input into here and have a slider. So you can change the color just by the slider. Right? Anywhere you can input a number, you can have it as a, well, I'll show you the slider is, a dynamic input. Okay? All right? Okay. And then the last thing is the scripting part, which we'll see in the slider. You can actually write commands for this stuff.
Got checked out by somebody.
True. Okay, so let's come back here. Let me do, well, let's talk about this first because I just noticed. Here my actual algebra is red. My color is mauve, or teal. And I can't change either one. So you'll notice if I change to red, if I click this color over here, change it, I can't change any of them, right? And that's because I did the RGB. Right? So if I go to color, or the advanced, I'd have to get rid of these. So think of the RGB.
It's like a remove. I just pressed remove and it worked.
Oh, there you go. Remove. Perfect. Thanks, Sam. Right. So it's going to count as a fixed color deal, where you can't change it. Okay. But again, we'll be able to do slider things for it, and then we'll see. Okay. So then, all right. Okay. Let's do this. So you can actually also move it around. I can select or change the value. So once I enter them, it's just like anything. To change it, I just double click in here, and I can change it whatever I want. So this will work with equations too. All right, so I can put it wherever I want. Okay. And then lastly for this, well, not for the points, but I can actually input my own points. Right, so I can just type C equals, I don't know, 1, 1. All right, so you don't have to just do the points. So if you place points by clicking, you can't guarantee it's going to be 4, 1. So if you wanted to put a point somewhere, right, specifically, then you can actually enter it. All right. Okay. Okay. The other thing is, notice on the left, I have these circles. They're shaded, they're filled right now. If I click them, it'll hide the figure. Okay, so this is how I can hide the points. All right, so they still show up in my algebra view, they just don't show up in my graphics view. All right. Okay. All right, let's do our first thing to make this kind of an input dynamic kind of deal. And we'll get to more of this, but let's go to the second to last one on the right. Okay, we want to put in a slider. All right, so we'll click this. I click slider. So we're all here right now. Okay, I click slider. And I'll be able to move it once I unfix it. The default is to fix them, but wherever you click is where they'll place the slider. All right. Okay, the name doesn't have to have a value to it. It doesn't have to have equals. It's just a name. All right, so let's do this. Let's just call it slider. Okay, and it can be a. So this must be the script, but I should be okay if I hit enter. Nope. Okay, so if it recognizes it as part of the script, we can't use that word. So let me show you that again. So as soon as you see something pop up with brackets and all this stuff, that's a pre-programmed command you can use. Okay, so let's just call it, but we're going to use it first. Well, it's called S. F for slider. Okay, and you can see the options here. I can make it a number value. So here's the interval. It'll only go between -5 and 5. So the slider value, that's what it'll be. Max and min. I can also go the increment. So as I slide, the smaller the increment number, the more increments I have, right? So let's make it 0.01. Okay, so as I slide, it's going to go through 0.01s at a time. All right. Okay. All right, the slider itself, let's see. So here's where you can make it fixed or random, right? I would unclick fix just for now so we can move it around. But then once you generate a working model of something, fix it so that people can't mess around with it. Okay, here's where it could be horizontal or vertical. You'll see when it shows up, it's going to be horizontal. Okay, and then here's the length we can change. And all this stuff will come back in that settings, the gear. Right? We can change it all again. It's not one time, one shot, one kill. Okay, and then the animations is what we'll do. Maybe we'll have time for. Okay, but the speed. So you can work on the speed, how fast it animates through something. And then let's just talk about this quickly. I don't know why I said quickly. Oscillating means it's just going to go back and forth between the max and the min, max and the min, max and min. It's never going to stop. Okay, increasing means it's going to start at the min and just go to the max and then stop. Decreasing is the other way. I'm sorry, when I say that, that's not true. It'll go from the min all the way to the max, then go right back to the min, go to the max. So it'll keep doing this loop of max to min, max to min, max to min. Okay, and then decreasing do the same thing. And then increasing will just do one time, from the min to the max. All right? Okay, we're going to keep it just at oscillating now, but make a note that's there. Hit OK. You can see now I have a slider bar. You can see my S does equal 1, and as I drag, I can actually see the number. So down here, right, up there, all that good stuff. Okay, and just to illustrate the point, if this were oscillating, and I want to show you this too because it gets highly annoying. This happened because I'm still selected on slider. I'm not on the pointer. Right? So it's not saying I'm going to edit my slider. It wants me to do another slider. So I'll hit cancel, and let's go back to the pointer. All right, so that doesn't happen again. Okay. All right, but just to illustrate the point here, if it were to oscillate, it would just go back and forth like this, right? If it were max to min, it would go, or for increasing, go here, then I'd start all the way back over here, and then blah, blah, blah. Okay, but that's the deal. All right, so now this is a variable. S is a variable I can change. Okay. All right, so having said that, what we're going to do is let's actually hook our C value. I think we could do this. Yeah, let's see if it works. Let's actually put our C value, our slider, into that C value, that point. All right, so all I have to do is I go click, I double click, and let's make it the X value. All right, I delete the numeral, and I do whatever the name is. So this one is called S. Had it been a longer word, I type in the whole word. And then I hit enter. And now you can see the actual C value is hooked to the slider. This is the dynamic part. That's the slider stuff you were seeing. The sliders are the inputs to our functions, our points, all that stuff. All right? Okay. Yeah. All right. And that's exactly what Chris has said. If you look on the left, there's a play button here. Okay, if you hit play, it'll actually go through, and now this is the speed of 1. So actually, we'll play with this in a second. And this is the oscillation. It'll go back and forth, back and forth. All right, that's the deal. Okay, let's do this to stop it. And we're going to, maybe not today either, but you can actually put in buttons now. When I click it, it'll start the play. And then it'll stop the play. So I can actually do all this automated stuff. All right, I want to edit my slider bar, which means I need the gear. Okay, so I'll open the gear. And then I already had it selected. If I hadn't, then I would just select it. Okay, I've had issues. I don't know. Let's do this. Maybe it won't show this time. No. I've had issues, though, where I actually have my slider selected, but this is the grid gear. It's not the slider gear. So in that case, I just would click out of it and then click back. I just work through my gears. So that's a tip. If for some reason you can't get it to open up a different menu box. Right? So what I mean by that is select another thing in your algebra, then open its menu box, and then just click through them. And then you'll get your menu box. Okay. All right. So here's the basics. Here's the name of it. This is what it's valued at right now. Right, -4.43. Okay. You can change what you want it to show. Right now it's the name and the value. You can do just the name. Okay. And you can see as I do it, it instantaneously shows me what I'm going to see. You can do just the value if you want. Right. Okay. I'm going to stay with name and caption. You could do just the captions. That's where you can type in things. Right. So I don't know, velocity, acceleration, all that good stuff. Slider. So here's what we'll change. We could change our stuff. Okay. So it's the slider part. Let's do this. Let's change it the width to 100 instead of 200. And then watch what happens. You can see as soon as I hit enter. So see how it physically changes the width. All right. Let's change our speed to 2. I don't know. And let's oscillate now from just increasing. Remember, if you can't see stuff, you can always drag the menu bar. Okay. All right. And just like our quick options up here, I can change the color. I don't know. Let's make it in a red mood. I don't know. Position. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Here we have the RGB colors and all that stuff again. Layering. Script. Nope, and that'll be good. Okay. All right, so then let's click out of that. And now when you hit play, you should see that it's going twice as fast. So play around. So play around with the width. Let's also, if you could, find out where... Oh, I just deleted it. There you go. So I've never gotten the Command Z to work, the shortcut. I'd always have to use these buttons. I think I got Control C to work once. But if you can't do undo, you got to use the buttons. What was I doing here? And then you can just see what vertical would look like. Okay. All right. Okay. And then you can always grab your slider as long as it's not fixed, and grab it and move it around. If you can't move it, it means it's fixed. Okay. All right. So play around with that. Nope. Change the size. Change the color. Check out the animations. Play it. Pause it. One thing too to note: if you always double click, you can always change the value. So if you wanted to, I don't know, start it at 3.6 for some reason. But I think on the left, if you double click, you can change the value. Okay, so I tell you what, let's delete everything that we have so far on the screen. Wherever you got, just delete it all. And we'll go through, I don't know, some more of the point stuff. Once we get through the point stuff, you can go play with all of this. Let's start with, let's actually create a triangle, a polygon. Let's just do a triangle though. Okay. So I highlight the polygon. The note at the bottom right just says you need to click on all 3 vertices. Right. So as soon as I do that, I can click anywhere. 1, 2, 3. Always remember though, you have to close it. Okay. Then you can see I have my polygon. And we can also see if we do, you can see it's made up of 3 line segments and then the actual polygon itself. All right. So if you wanted to hide any of this, that's the whole polygon. Here are the line segments. Right. So 3 of them make up kind of the shell, and then the poly one's the fill. All right. Okay. So here's a note, and this is what I think I was saying. Well, that was weird. So, oh no, it's still not fixed. So look at, you can actually drag all your stuff around, right? So again, that's the dynamic part. All right, so any one of these you can drag around and make big or small. Okay. And notice on the left too how the actual values change. And these segments are the lengths. All right, so the lengths of the actual sides. Okay, now that we have that, let's go back to our dots, our points. So here I can actually place a point in an object. So I just click here and I click inside the object. And now you can see two things to notice. One is it's a different color. Okay, it's a light blue, which means it's got some kind of restriction on it. And the restriction is I can't move it outside the object. All right. So that's the deal. So for whatever, that would be good for. I can't move it outside the object. I can also attach a point. So I'll click attach, and then I just click the object, and I click, I think. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have to make a point first. So let's do a point. And then to attach it, I click on the point, and then I click on the object. Okay, and right now, this is going to actually, and you can see it's, oh, geez. Undo. You can see it's light blue, and I can only move it on the line. I should only be able to. Why won't I? Oh, that's why. I'm sorry. So yeah, when I click and move it, I can do whatever I feel like, apparently. Right? But if I were to actually set this up as an animation, it would only follow that line. Right? So I can set it up to just follow along its attached line. Okay, but it must be that, I don't know, I have omnipotent power in this program where I can drag it off if I want to. Okay, but it should be connected when I start doing my animations. Okay, so if you need to follow paths of things, we can do that too.
I think I did that to fix the Snapchat group.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't noticed this until Nathan just did that, but let's do this.
I didn't.
No, but when I do my polygon, it actually, you have two choices. I can click the 3 to make the triangle, or however many you need. Or it looks like if I click and hold, I can draw whatever I feel like and see if it recognizes it. Okay, am I just the worst drawer on the planet?
I mean, you have to click to get a point.
That's what I'm saying, you don't have to. It just has to recognize. I'm just,
Oh, nice.
that was a square. If I've ever seen a square, that was a square. But apparently, either I'm the worst square drawer in the world, or. But anyway, I didn't know that was an option either. All right. Okay, let's look at some other points here. We could do intersect, right? So let's get another line here. So let's actually do a line. So we'll do a line segment here. So it'll be the one next to the points. Right. Or not a segment. We actually just want a line. So I'll do 1 point and then another point. Okay. So I just went to the line and I connected 2 points. Right. And again, don't get too worked up about the points because I can always turn them off. Right. So F and G are there, but I can always turn them off. All right. Okay. And it has it where I can actually put one right at the intersection. So I click the 2 segments, and it'll put one right where they intersect. Okay, and here's the blue-black all of a sudden. The H is black, right? Which means it can't be moved. It's a dependent variable. So now, and again, click the pointer. You'll see when I move my line, H moves with it. Okay, but I cannot move H. Okay? All right, so once I put a condition on it that it has to be at the intersection, then it won't move. It can't move at all. Okay? What are some other ones here? The midpoint is the midpoint. The complex number is just what it sounds like. So as soon as I click, we'll have to go find Z down at the bottom. Right? It actually is complex. It's got a real and imaginary part. Right? So complex numbers are just a rectangular coordinate system. They fit nicely on here. Okay, so if you wanted to do things in complex, that's how you would do it. What else do we have? Oh, the extreme are pretty nice. So let's do this. Let's get rid of all this stuff again. So we'll highlight A, shift all the way down, delete it all. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, where aren't you deleting? I tell you, anytime something doesn't work, it's because you don't have your pointer selected. I was on complex the whole time. Wow, that's annoying. So that's a big note. If something doesn't work, it's because your pointer's not selected. All right, let's do a function now. So let's type in, we're going to get our extreme and our roots. So to type in a function, you just have to click in the algebra part. And then let's just do y equals, let's make it a cubic. But x plus 2, x minus 3. And then I'll drag so you can see it a little bit. All right, so I can type in whatever I want. Okay. All right. I'll zoom in a little bit. Just so we have a nice view, drag it around. And then now when I do my points, all I need is the extremus. All I have to do is click on the actual curve. And then you can see not only do I get the points where they are, I get the values here. Okay, and I can.
How did you get the extreme?
I just went to the points one, and then it's the extreme.
Oh.
All right. And then you can also do the root. So here is the roots. And you can see I get all 3 roots. All right. So if you're doing, I don't know, solving equations, then maybe just throw this up. You can find the roots real fast to check their solution. I don't know if they're doing some kind of board work. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. You can keep or get rid of whatever you want. But now play around with the rest of this stuff. So go up to angles, so the conic section. So create conic section, or create conics, create circle. Well, let's do, I want to do one thing, I'm sorry. I know I said that. Let's actually just turn all this stuff off instead of deleting it all for no reason whatsoever. Let's do one circle. So let's do a circle and a point. Right, so I just drag and I get a circle with a radius of a point. Okay. Right. Okay. What I want to tell you here is, here's the idea: is you're always going to have a point that you can move to make it dynamic. So when you start playing around with this stuff, there's always going to be something that you can grab. Oops. See, I'm back on the pointer. God. So I get my pointer, and then once I grab it, I can make it dynamic. Okay, so I tell you what, play around with some shapes, and that point that makes it dynamic, put in some sliders and see how you can use a slider to change the shapes.
Very.
I didn't mention this before, but if you notice the slider, if you do your increments, if I go by ones, then those are integers, right? So there, I don't know, the one I had seen, there was an integer toggle button, but you don't have to do that. If you do your increments wisely, then that'll be the integer part. Okay, let me stop you for 1 second. We'll move on a little bit here. I just want to point out, I don't know, this is the kind of stuff we'll consider when we start doing this for real math stuff. But my J is hooked to my C, and you'll notice that J, since it's diagonal, is not the actual radii, right, or radius. Right? If I wanted to do that, I can fix that. I just got to make, since it's in the X part for my variable, where my slider is, let's just fix it. So I'll double click and I'll make my I, let's put it at, I don't know, -2, 1. Okay. And then my J, I just need to make sure it's at the same Y value. Just like that. Will it not let me? I don't know why it would let me click in. That's annoying. Now you can see, since it's horizontal, now this is the radius. Okay, so we'll just have to be clever about things like that. Neither here nor there. We okay? We all right? Okay, let's delete all our stuff. Make sure your pointer is selected, which is awesome. Okay, let's do actually a dynamic part. Let's make a line. Let's change the y and the slope and the y-intercept. So let's do that. So let's do, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. What? Okay, let's get two sliders. Let's get one slider. Put it here. I'll call it B, or let's do M first for the slope. Okay, and I want the slope to range from, I don't know, anything we want. What's about minus 50 to 50. Okay. In increments of, I'm just making all this up. Doesn't make any difference. About 0.1. Okay, I hit OK. Let's get another one, and this is where it's handy I'm not on the pointer. So let's click again. Let's get a B for the y-intercept. I'm just going to go negative 20 to 20. Because it looks like my graph's negative 20, 20. 0.1. So now I have a slope slider and a y-intercept slider. Now here actually, and then we'll get into this when we start doing this for real math stuff, this is what will connect the conceptual part. Right? When you ask a student, what happens to the line when the slope changes? What happens to the line when the y-intercept changes? Have them talk about it, have them discuss it, and then you'll physically show them in a dynamic form. All right? Cool beans? We're not there yet, but that's the idea. All right, so let's do our equation then. So now we just do y equals. Remember, it's all about the variable. I have m for my slope, so I really just type it in m. And then I do x for my variable plus b. Okay? And it automatically puts a line that's linked to my sliders. So what happens when I increase the slopes? You can see it actually increases. When I go to negatives, I flip over. Right? My y's up and down. Okay. And remember, you can, mine are a little big, but you could play them. Right? You could actually play them both at the same time. Remember the play, the oscillate or increase, decrease, speed, it's all based on you.
Oh, there it is. Got it.
Also remember too, if you grab it and you can't do it, it's because it could be fixed. Right? So your slider, I wouldn't be able to move that one because it's fixed. Okay, so always remember it's in your setting, the gear. And think of it in this terms, or in this term as well. You can develop these, and you can actually embed these, I think, in a lot of different programs. But let's say you do this for a student, and you give it to all the students to play with. You don't want them to mess around with where the sliders are. So, yeah, fix all that stuff. So on your Chromebooks, it looks like Nathan has a menu bar down here, and you almost as well. If you click on a slider, it's something down here where if you click on it, you can get a quick access to the speed, the max and min. It's a nice note. Obviously not on the Mac. That was my whole HTML idea. All right. I can change the actual max and min though. Okay, let's do one more thing and then that'll be it. Let's get rid of all our stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do two things here. I'm actually going to place a point right at a specific place on a parabola, the vertex. Okay, so first thing what I need to do is I need a point. So let's go and get a point, and we can put it anywhere we want. It makes no difference. Okay, so it makes absolutely no difference. Now I need an actual parabola. So let's do, how about this? Y equals, how about x? Let's do minus 5 squared. So we'll do, and the squared is caret. Okay, I can't see the keystrokes, but it's, shift 6, caret. And then how about plus 6?
Y and just do the arrows, it'll give you what you already put in.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, nice. Oh, thanks for getting rid of what I just typed in. It looks like it'll cycle through the last few. Okay, I'm going to type that back in. That's awesome.
Just give me all for
Okay, I don't know. What did I have? +5. Okay. Okay, this isn't what I was trying to do here, but I just wanted to show you. Well, look at a couple things. Here we have standard form, and then we have vertex form, right, which is kind of nice. What I want to do is put the A at the vertex. All right, so I want the A, that point, to actually be these numbers here. Okay, and how we do this, and this is something I would write down, right, is if I want the x or y coordinate, I put x, parentheses, and I put the point. This represents return the x coordinate of the point A. Okay, so now it's another input. It's the second input we have. One's a slider, and now one is an actual point. And then the y value, you could probably figure out. Y of A. Okay. And it's the xy parentheses, that's the command that they've set up. It's A because I want point A. And now when I hit enter, you'll see it's going to go right at the vertex. Right? Okay. Which, not a big deal, except remember those A's is blue, which means I can move it around. Right? So now I can show you what's going on. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's do this. For no reason, I'm going to put my A right at about 10.5. Whatever it doesn't have to be on a tick mark. I don't know why I did that. And let's set up one more slider. I want to show you something else in the sliders. So up a slider, I'll call this A. Nothing wrong with that. 0 to 5, that's fine. Let's go by small increment. And then I want to link this slider to the parabola, which is linked to A. So I link my A by that value. And I'm always just doing X. I don't have to. I could do Y. And obviously this will move in the X direction. Well, I don't know. Let's do 2. There's no reason why we can't. And I'm on that awesome where I'm not on the pointer, so it gives me a slider again. Okay. There's nothing wrong with B. Let's see. B, -5 to 5 horizontal. Oh, that's fine. Okay. And now what I'll do is I'll link my X to A and my Y to B. Okay. So now I have both an X and a Y. Okay. And you can see if I play them. Yeah, we got cool stuff. All right. Kind of trippy. It's magic.
There's little DVD things.
Yeah. This is how they did it.
Yeah.
It's just eventually it'll hit the corner.
All right.
This is the math part, I think.
Okay, let's do the last thing I want to show you, and then, like I said, or delete all this stuff. Don't delete your things. Come back. Come back. Come back. What I want to do is let's actually start this on a button. So let's introduce buttons. And now, I don't know. I was going to kind of lie to you. So far, I can tell you how to start an animation. I cannot figure out for the life of me to stop one. So I did, if I went too fast there, I go back to my special toolbar, and I go to the OK button. And I hit a button. And I, just like anything else, I place my button wherever I want. Okay, caption now. I can type whatever I want. I'm going to put start. Okay, so it's just going to say start. The button will have start in it. Okay. And now here's where the GeoGebra script is, and this is what when we learn about we'll get into. But this one is start, no spaces, animation. Okay. Okay, and these are the special scripts that have already been programmed in. These are the code words. And there's however many code words. Every code word now has to begin and end with a bracket. All right. The question is, what do you want to start on the animation? If I want to start A, I type A. Okay, so when I click the button, A will start. All right. Okay, and let's just do that. Let's end my bracket, hit enter, and now you'll see when I hit start. See, I'm not on my pointer.
Same thing.
Yep, isn't that awesome?
But it started.
Yes.
Mine was already started.
Yours already did. And again, I don't know how to stop it, so, and my A has somehow, I don't know why, has, isn't it my AB anymore? But let's do this. I need to go back. Make this my A and that my B. Oh, when I undid it, it must have. So now when I start, you can see it'll do that. And again, what I had read was there's a stop animation. But apparently when that was written in now, there's something else because it doesn't work. It freaks out. So for now, just hit the pause. Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Here's the last tip. I want to actually edit the animation. Right? I want to change things. Tell me where in my algebra bar you see animation. All right? Nowhere. So here's the deal. It's one of those auxiliaries. It's on the slider, obviously, when I click my button that it came up. So these are the button options. Right? And then you can see I can either just edit from there, or if I click and toggle on and off, then now my button's here. Okay. And then once I do that, let's do one more thing, and then that'll be it. So the scripting is where I write the code. Let's turn them both on at the same time. Okay. I don't have to write start animation again. I can just do comma B. Okay. So if you want to do a continuous thing, just separate them with commas. Okay. And then when I hit enter, oops, not enter. When I get out of it, when I start, A and B should now start. Okay.
Okay, did you run through that one?
Yep, absolutely. Let me stop these. So what?
I don't have like button.
Okay,
on
good.
mine.
Let's do this then. So what I want, and the idea is, if it doesn't show up in the algebra, it's an auxiliary object, and we need to get access to it. Okay. And the take home here is you get access to anything through the gear. Okay. So now I just click. It doesn't make any difference. I just click wherever I am. I open the gear. So my point here is to open the gear, and then I click the start button. So now you'll see I'm in the start button's options.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can see I can toggle on the auxiliary on and off. I don't have to because I can get to all the options, but if you wanted it in your algebra view, you can. And then I go to script and edit the script.